Hey guys, how are you? I wanted to make a video about something that has just helped me create such strength and peace in my life after I understood this one idea. I wanted to share this idea with you in the hopes, I don't know, I think everyone's looking to find an inner sense of strength, an inner sense of peace. And I think this idea amongst interpersonal relationships just helps so much in being able to just become feeling more invulnerable to the world and feeling less like a victim of the circumstances and then the people in your life and how other people and circumstances end up treating you. Here it is. It's a relationship that we're familiar with, guys, since we were in kindergarten. It's this conundrum. It's this creation of this thing called guilt into grievance. All right. Now, this is most commonly seen in children, but the idea is, and we see this in the therapy office all the time, all adults are just grown-up children. And they carry these habits that they've learned in childhood straight into adulthood, and then you see politicians and grown people running amok. But try this idea on for size, and I guarantee you, I promise you guys, if you just begin to let the truth of this settle in, you begin to feel more at peace, realizing that you can't really be offended by anything. And here it is, right here. You ready for it? 3, 2, 1. Whenever you have one person that does something to affect and offend another person, the person who's offended is only being offended because they're identifying with their ego self, not their spiritual self, not who they truly are. If they knew who they truly were as being spirit, as being the essence of that Fool card, then they would know, just like the masters know, that there's nothing anyone can do to truly offend them, to put them down, because they are not of this world. They are so beyond. They're so beyond being hurt. All right? That's a true master, is to just walk through the world and just be like, no matter what happens, I know I am at peace. I know I'm cool. I know I'm strong. All right? But if you're identified with the ego self and somebody does something, you witness something that is happening in the world, or something with the politics, or something in traffic, anything, it doesn't even matter, and you find offense, you're immediately identifying with your ego. And how your ego wants you to get into this searching for something but never being able to find it is to create this thing called a grievance. This person now, identifying with their ego, is now holding on a grievance, which is made of absolutely nothing, because the ego is absolutely nothing compared to the spirit. So it creates this feeling of unease in you that you interpret as a grievance, whether you define it or label it as that or not, it doesn't matter. And then the offended ego gives that grievance to the offending party as guilt, okay? And I'm going to try to make you feel guilty because you hurt my feelings, okay? And then this grievance that's created from nothing, all right, just absolutely made up, it's just an illusion, is handed over back as guilt. So how does that affect the ego that presented that gift of grievance that turns into guilt? Is then that gives them the sense of authority. Because in order for that person to leave and lose that guilt, they need forgiveness from the ego that has given that gift of grievance into a guilt. That's how this loop just continues. And you can easily imagine children doing this. I mean, we've seen it. I know I've participated this as a young child and passively aggressively as an adult until this realization. Whenever you're walking around more in your daily life, understanding who you truly are, you get affected not at all by those people, by those things, those politicians, those circumstances that would otherwise have offended you. That's where this whole error of making someone corrected, we're having to prove to somebody else that they were wrong, because it's part of that dynamic, it's part of that battle. It's trying to make them, show them that they're so wrong that then they ask for forgiveness, or that they, oh, now I understand your point. So then you have this former ego self now relieved of this grievance because it gave it over as guilt, in a position to be, okay, but maybe I will forgive you and we can let this rest, but it feels almost better to hold this grievance on you, knowing that you're feeling guilty on this. rather than just coming at it like a master does. And guys, you don't have to get this 100% all the time, but once you get this idea, if you're attacked in traffic, if you hear something happening in the news, if you get in some sort of ridiculous situation with your partner or something like that, and then you're being literally attacked because the person who's offending you is trying to hurt you, trying to get this battle, because the person who's intentionally trying to hurt you is fully, absolutely in her ego self or his ego self, and they are thriving on that. I'm going to try to make you wrong. I'm going to try to get you to be corrected. I'm going to try to have you understand why I'm right. You can eliminate all of this from your life, guys, by just beginning to think about the idea that nobody can do anything to affect you. That way, nobody is in control. Nobody is in control of your emotions. We see this on the internet all the time. Someone comes in and just has to prove somebody else that they're wrong. They have to prove that, no, my politician's better and this is why. And it's insanity. It is absolutely insanity, because you just see these games that egos love to play with each other. All right, a bunch of spiritual people, get us in the room together and we can have completely different views on absolutely everything. But whenever we understand that we're coming at it from our foolish selves, from the beautiful essence of spirit that we really, really are, we can allow another person to lay down an idea that we fully, completely disagree with, but it doesn't offend us. All right, so this eliminates all sorts of, as in an adult, because it doesn't usually get that literal like we did in children, like, please, I'm sorry, forgive me. No, do you know how bad you hurt me? No, please forgive me. Please forgive me. No, you really hurt me. And it goes on and on. As adults, this comes across as passive-aggressive behavior, because consciously things are fine, but then that ego part of us, even though we're having a conversation, has to just slide in that little thing that just kind of, it's going to sting, but you didn't absolutely do it literally to hurt you, but you kind of knew that it would have a bit of an effect on you that was going to be negative. That passive aggressiveness is how that childhood behavior of kindergarten, of this balancing of the grievance and the guilt, turns into like an adult ego fight, is passive aggressiveness. Now, I'm not going to say that I've ever labeled myself as a passive aggressive person in the past, but once I've gotten this idea into my head, feeling more powerful, feeling unbelievably more at peace, I found in myself, and I promise you that you'll find in yourselves, that you can go through your life just speaking more honestly and not being concerned about what somebody else has to say. Not to be rude, not to put what their opinion is to the side, but just to not have you being affected by being offended by it. Because then you don't create this grievance that you want to make them feel guilty about, so you're going to try to correct them to make sure that they know that they were wrong. All right? So before I start talking in circles, I just want to just allow that idea out there, maybe hover above some of you that is just having a hard time finding peace in a situation or with a particular person, where it's just someone's just dying to have you feel wrong. Someone's dying to give you this gift of their grievance because their ego says the only way that I can get rid of this grievance is if you feel guilty. Please take my gift. Guys, just don't take the gift of guilt. Don't take the gift of guilt. It's one of the biggest lessons in A Course in Miracles. Just be guiltless. Be guiltless. If you hurt your feelings, hurt somebody else's feelings, just apologize. You know what I mean? Didn't intend to hurt you, and then just let it go. And then don't let that battle ensue. No, do you have any idea how bad you hurt me? You really hurt me. That's another big thing you hear, kids. Now, you hear that so much. Is that I'm not going to, do you have any idea how much you hurt me? I said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. And they're still offering this gift. They still want you to feel guilty. And then you say, I'm not going to take your grievance. I'm not going to accept guilt for it. I did wrong. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Like, I'm offering you my apology. You can do that. But just don't accept the gift, or don't accept their gift of grievance. Okay. That is enough for now. I hope you guys just got a little grain of insight into how you might be participating in this guilt and grievance cycle that our egos just want us to keep on playing. All right, just avoid it. It has helped me so much, and I invite you to just think about it. Okay, bye.